Oops, I wasn't in there. Sorry, guys. Welcome on into another episode of Getting Wild and Flying High, free NHL and MLB picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate. Coming off a great day yesterday, 3-0 in my premium plays. Best bet cashed. Props were great. Everything went great yesterday. So, hoping to keep that going here on today's slate. And we will start the show as we usually do. That's taking a look at what happened yesterday in the NHL. Of course, soon we'll move on to looking at what happened in the MLB once NHL is um, more close to being done, probably in the second round. But yesterday, the Devils, the road Devils, got the win, tied up the series 2-2 with a road win against the New York Rangers, 3-1 game there. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they really want to get out of the first round for the first time since 2004. I guess they want to cut that streak at 19 years. They don't want to go to 20. The Leafs were down 4-1, came storming back and got the overtime win. I would say the Tampa Bay is in trouble, but we've seen this story with the Leafs before. We'll see what happens in the next game, but uh, Toronto fans are really, really hoping that the streak finally ends for them, and we will see. Um, I believe tomorrow or not the next day. It's been every other day, but now some teams are going to have 2 days off. I don't know exactly the schedule, but we'll see when they play next. Vegas Golden Knights and the Winnipeg Jets. One of my premium plays up on the site was the Vegas Golden Knights money line, which I gave out on the show yesterday. Basically, it's Hellebuck stands on his head or the Jets lose, and the Jets lost. So that I think they're in trouble. I'll be on Vegas to finish the series in Game 5. Colorado and Seattle Kraken. Good job to the Kraken. Cale Makar with a dirty hit on Jared McCann, who will not play in Game 5. Makar is having a hearing today about that hit. Throw the book at him. But no, whatever they decide, they decide. But the Kraken with the overtime win from Jordan Eberle in overtime to tie up the series 2-2. We have a lot of series tied at 2-2, which is great, great for the sport and is great for hockey in general. Bring up the first game and we'll jump into the comments here. What's up, Terry? I smashed the like. Thank you, Richie. Not at all and great. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, but yeah. Hello, we've reached a sad day today. Isles elimination day. We'll get to that here in a few seconds. Leafs up 3-1. Truly, nothing will go wrong. It could. Hey Terry. Hey Crystal. How about our Blue Jays yesterday? What a nice win. No Makar Game 5, Colorado puck line. I believe you've been on Colorado puck line every game, Nick. And yeah, Seattle's keeping these games close. There's zero chance of going anywhere near Colorado puck line. And it's Seattle on the road. So we all know that I will be on the Kraken money line. Definitely no Colorado puck line. Zero chance. LOL. Yes, it's funny. Islanders and Carolina Hurricanes here. Islanders plus 125 to plus 140. Carolina Hurricanes minus 149 to minus 175. 5.5s and 5s available in this one. There's a time and place to admit that you were wrong. Some people will not do that, but I will. I had Islanders winning this series in 7 games, and unless some miracle happens here, the Carolina Hurricanes, even with injuries galore, look like they are going to eliminate the Islanders here. I can't take the Islanders even at plus money. When it comes to Carolina, it's a parlay piece or nothing for the Hurricanes, but I think they get the job done here. You could look at the puck line. I think the puck line is good, unless, of course, this is a game that goes to overtime. If it's not an overtime game, The Islanders will pull their goalie if they're down by one, and you can get the Canes puck line at a nice plus price. Puck lines on elimination games are definitely a good look. If you like the team to get the elimination, take them on the puck line because teams will pull their goalie much earlier than usual, trying not to get eliminated. So lean with Carolina puck line, but I just can't get to it. This Carolina team, uh, I can't back them at this price, but I can understand why people would in this one. Over 5.5, Canes get 2+ empty net goals. Very, very possible. Very possible. But we'll move on to the second game here. Minnesota Wild and the Dallas Stars. Wild +110 to +124. Dallas -137 to -150. 5.5s right across the board here in this one. All I ask is for this game to be refereed fairly. If this game is refereed fairly, then I see a potential 2-2 type game go to overtime. I can see a similar result to game one, where we get a very close game. I look at the draw here. I pulled the trigger on Gustav Nyquist over half a point. Obviously, the Wild at plus money here, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure here. I was very confident in the Wild, but after watching the last game, uh, it, sometimes it's out of your control, and it could very well be out of the Wild's control here. They got to find a way to get the puck past Jake Ottinger and stay out of the box, even if that's partly out of their control in this one. Best bet for here for this game, I think, is Gustav Nyquist to get an assist at +125 in this one. Under 5.5, lean draw. Hopefully not fairly like game one. Richie, we will agree to disagree on the Matt Dumba hit, but there were multiple cross checks from Suter trying to hurt Kaprizov. Dumba had one hit, which was reviewed and which was decided as a clean hit. So I'll just leave it at that. The referees have been been wanting Dallas to win pretty much the entire series. And yes, it's not just Minnesota. It's the entire playoff series this year. The refs are absolutely awful. Awful. Hintz got high sticked right in front of the ref looking at him. Yes, so did Wild players. So did Wild players. Not that at all. Well, we'll disagree. We'll have to agree to disagree in this one. But if you watched either of the penalties against Marcus Foligno in the last game, they were complete bullshit calls, 100%. LA Kings and Edmonton Oilers here. LA +163 to +201. Edmonton -210 to -235. 6.5s, a couple sevens available here in this one. And this game's tough. LA +1.5 is -120. I'm extremely tempted on that. We've seen this series go to overtime. I can see why someone would want to jump on LA at almost +200 because I think that is crazy price. The thing for me though is I would much rather take LA +120 or +1.5 at -120. Have these teams go to overtime. I cash a ticket, or even if they don't go to overtime and it's a 1-goal game, or if LA wins, I would cash. I don't want this game to go to overtime and to have the Oilers win and lose a ticket that way. So -120 for the Kings +1.5. If we continue to see the money come in on Edmonton here and continue to see this line move, I'll probably be on the Kings +1.5 here in this game. Over 6.5. Still interested to see if it's Campbell or Skinner. Yes. I don't really think it matters too much. Either one aren't really that good. King me. Yeah, +200. I can understand why why you'd want to go that way. It's just wait, it's um too overpriced on the Oilers here in this one, at least in my opinion, at least. Going on to the MLB for today's slate, Boston Red Sox, Baltimore Orioles, Boston plus 130 to plus 147. Baltimore Orioles minus 155 to minus 175, 8.5s right across the board here in this game. And for me here, we have a pretty big pitching mismatch here with Kluber 0-4 with an 8.5 ERA on the season. Kyle Bradish 1-0 with a 0 ERA. Obviously, only one start, but he's pitched well. And this Baltimore team is playing well. As much as I would rather not them not be playing so well, they are. Uh, I'm not going to go full game here. I did cash the over 8 yesterday between these two teams. Why that total was so low made no sense to me. It actually there were 7.5s available as well. So the over 8 was a great play yesterday in this game. And while there are some Red Sox that have smashed Bradish, um, I'm not. I'm kind of worried that he might have a good game here. So that's why I'm not going to go with the over 8.5. Um, but I do want to fade Kluber. And the best way to fade Kluber is to take Baltimore minus a half in the first 5 innings, which I did at BetMGM for minus 110. I just need Baltimore to be leading by 1 after 5 innings. I don't think that's too much to ask. Kluber has not played well in any of his starts this year. So give me Baltimore minus a half in the first 5. Kings plus 200 looks too easy. Makes me think Edmonton covers minus 1.5, maybe minus 2.5. No, I think Kings probably lose in overtime. Oilers probably win in overtime. So all those plus 200 Kings tickets will probably lose if that happens. Going to the second game here, I did a free pick video for this game up on Picks and Parlays. LA Dodgers minus 109 to minus 120. Pittsburgh Pirates minus 105 to plus 104. 8.5s right across the board here in this game. I bet this game last night. I put my package up on the site last night, which includes this game. I'm on the Pittsburgh Pirates money line, which I got at plus 120. Huge line movement here, which is expected. And Pittsburgh is now a pick 'em in some spots. Still a slight underdog in others. And pitching advantage, Oviedo against Syndergaard. Dodgers do have the hitting advantage against righties. They are ranked number 2, Pittsburgh number 10. But this Pittsburgh team is red hot, winning games. I've been backing them, and I'll continue to back them. They're the number 1 team in the National League. So I will continue to back them here, getting a good price with them. If you told me in the spring training that I would be fading the Dodgers and taking the Pirates, I might have kind of laughed at you a little bit, but this Pirates team has gotten off to a fantastic start, and I'm going to continue to back them while they play well here. Raise the Jolly Roger. There you go. There you go. But we'll go on to our next game. Houston Astros and the Tampa Bay Rays. Houston plus 150 to plus 170. Tampa Bay minus 175 to minus 200. 7.5s and 8s available here. And I get it. The defending champions are plus 170. And I can understand why people would want to go that route. The thing is, though, is this Tampa Bay team continues to find ways to win games and continues to find ways to win games by multiple runs. Now they have the big pitching advantage here with Rasmussen 3-1 with a 2.01 ERA against Garcia, who's 1-2 with a 5.14 ERA. This is just a bad spot for Houston. Tampa Bay on the run line, plus money. The lines moved on that one as well, which I got last night, I believe at plus 135 or something like that. So the lines will continue to move there, but I like Tampa. I think they roll in this one in a multiple run victory in this game. Rays are 24-0 last 24 games as a minus 165 or higher favorite. There you go. How often have they covered the run line? So that's what's important. But yeah, and the Rays number one in baseball against righties. It's a Rays spot, I think, for this one. Moving on to our next game, Detroit Tigers, Milwaukee Brewers. Detroit plus 140 to plus 155. Milwaukee minus 162 to minus 185. 9s and 8.5s across the board here. And I'm taking the Brewers on the run line, minus 1.5 here, which is plus money. Reason for that, pitching advantage for Milwaukee, the better team advantage, Milwaukee, and lefty-righty splits, huge advantage, Milwaukee. Detroit is dead last in baseball, hitting lefties with a 559 OPS. Meanwhile, Milwaukee number 7 against righties with a 778 OPS, so a 200 difference, 0.200 difference for Milwaukee. Turnbull has been pretty awful. Lauer, his ERA is 4.30, but the Brewers are 3-1 with him on the mound. I like the Brewers to take care of this one against the Tigers in a multiple run victory. Tigers first 5 plus 130. No, not at all. I know they've been good in the first 5 this year, so there you go. But not with Turnbull on the mound. Definitely not. Moving on along to our next game, San Diego Padres, Chicago Cubs. San Diego plus 109 to minus 105. The Cubs minus 118 to minus 125. 7.5s and 7s available here in this game. And another game where I got some good closing line value today, but I got to the Cubs at minus 105 last night, and now it's a 20-cent move, minus 125 in some spots here for the Cubs. And again, we have a huge pitching mismatch here with Snell against Steele. Blake Snell will get it together eventually, but it takes him time in the year. He will get better in the second half of the season, but until he starts to get better, I will be fading him, especially when we have a 3-0 pitcher with a 1.44 ERA in Steele at home here. Cubs number 5 against lefties. Padres number 16. I love the Cubs here. Best price right now, minus 118 in this one. Cubs money line. I like it. Morning, Terry. Best bet. Oh, well, there it goes. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding too. Pittsburgh Pirates money line. Or is it ECU money line? I'm gonna switch it to ECU too. No, I'm kidding. Pittsburgh money line, which I'm gonna guess is MLB. Skinner likely for Edmonton tonight. There you go. But we will go through quickly the rest of the MLB slate, and I'll kind of give my thoughts. Colorado and Cleveland. I'm glad that I didn't bet Cleveland on the run line yesterday, despite a huge pitching advantage for Cleveland. I believe they lost 6-0. Couldn't score a run. That's this Cleveland team. They have good pitching for the most part, but when it comes to offense, a team that can't be trusted. and they're here minus 200 favorites. Pass for me here. I'm not backing Colorado with Feltner on the mound. Again, there's a pitching advantage for Cleveland. We'll see how that works out. Boston, Baltimore, we discussed. I didn't go over player props. Jorge Mateo, 300 last 7 days, 379 against the lefty righty split, and 357 against Kluber in his career. Dodgers at Pittsburgh, we went over player props there. Connor Joe, Tusupita Marcano, and Jock Sawinski for Pittsburgh. And for the Dodgers, James Outman are players that I'm targeting. Seattle and Philadelphia here. Not interested in either side. Really, when it comes to player props, Jared Kelenic would be someone I would target for Seattle, but really not too much in that game for me. Houston, Tampa Bay. I went over the Tampa Bay run line. Players that I like: Yandy Diaz, Harold Ramirez, and I do like Randy Arozarena, who's hitting 478 the last 7 days, 355 against righties. The only issue, he's over 6 against Garcia in his past, but I think he does break that. I just don't like that he's over 6, so I'll probably stick with Harold Ramirez and Yandy Diaz for player props there. Texas and Cincinnati. This is my picks and parlays exclusive play of the day. You can get my play for this game in my 5-pick package, which is up on the site. Link is in the description below. Use code MLB to get 20% off at checkout. I will say Marcus Semien is hitting 409 last 7 days, 317 against righties, and he's 2 for 5 against the pitcher that they're facing, Weaver. And then Ezekiel Duran, 455 last 7 days, 296 against righties. White Sox and Toronto. I was on the Jays run line yesterday, which cashed. Jays team total over 4.5, which cashed. It was a great game for the Jays yesterday. However, I'm not really confident in this game. Really, the only thing I like here is Whit Merrifield props to get a hit, parlayed in other parlays. 438 last 7 days, 324 against righties, 263 in his career against Clevenger. He has a lot of at-bats against him, obviously being former division rivals. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he's 2 for 3 against Clevenger. And Springer, who hasn't been hitting anything lately, has an 0.87 average last 7 days, only 209 in the season against righties. However, he's 4 for 10 against Clevenger with 2 home runs. So he has hit Clevenger well. And we'll see what happens there with that one. I think Toronto probably wins this game. But I think it's close. So Jay's money line is a parlay piece, maybe. But otherwise, and Merrifield props, otherwise stay. Washington Mets, complete pass. I don't know who's on the mound for the Mets. Josiah Gray last year was very good on the road. Haven't seen that this year. Not interested in this game whatsoever. As I've said previously, I'll back Washington in certain situations when Mackenzie Gore is on the mound, and he's not on the mound. So I won't be backing Washington, but I'm not laying this price with the Mets either. No thanks. Miami, Atlanta. Rookie pitcher for Miami against Charlie Morton for Atlanta. Atlanta whooped Miami's butt yesterday. I could see a similar result here, but I don't like this game. Don't have a good feeling about it, so I'm staying off. Right, Milwaukee, we talked about. Yankees, Minnesota. I was on the Twins first 5 minus a half yesterday. They absolutely smashed Brito in the previous game. Sonny Gray on the mound. Great job for the Twins there in that game yesterday. Today, however, Cortez against Ryan. I can see Minnesota winning this game, but I don't like the price for them. Not very good against lefties. The Yankees much better against righties. Um, Ryan 4-0. He's been great on the year. I do think the Twins probably get the job done, but I'm not betting on them. San Diego, Chicago, we talked about. Oakland, LAA, pass. I was happy to see that Trout was able to get the job done in yesterday's game. Um, Here in this one, I don't have a good feeling about it, so I'm passing. KC, Arizona. Lean with Arizona, but I don't want to take them at that price. Singer has been awful this year, so definitely no interest in Kansas City. And St. Louis, San Francisco, another game that's a pass. I don't uh, really like anything in it, so that is that. Dun, 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 dun. Nick's best bet to be New York Islanders / Carolina over 5.5. It's 130. All right. Boom. Here's Isaacs. He's awake. He's awake. Happy Isles Elimination Day. There you go. As we get to the best bet segment here, I'm going to have to decide what I'm going to do for my best bet because I have not decided yet. Looking at what happened yesterday, Blue Jays money line and Mike Trout to get a hit, plus with 131 cash for me. I was leaning with the Jays run line and Trout to get a hit, but played it a little bit safe, but I'll take the win. Nick went with the Lightning money line. Bad beat as they were up 3 goals and then blew it. Clear an IMO with the Guardians, who sadly didn't show up. Kev Cook went with Vegas money line in the NHL and the Twins on the run line, plus 371. Nice win there, Kev. IceX, Tampa Bay run puck line, Winnipeg puck line. Fortunately, both lost. Richie went with the Rangers money line, Texas Rangers money line. Fortunately, the New York Rangers money line lost. Captain Bry wrote his best bet in the comments. I was leaning with something else. He had something else picked out, but he loved my thoughts on Trout and Renfro hit. So he switched his best bet to that, and both got a hit in a very high scoring game in that one. Crystal went with the Toronto Blue Jays money line and the Atlanta Braves money line, and that was a no doubter. Nice win there, Crystal. Looking at the standings for the best bets for the month of April, currently Icex in first, Richie in second, Clear Nine in third, Crystal in fourth, Nick in fifth, Captain Brian sixth, Lane in seventh. A few of us within a couple units there, and still anyone's game. Well, actually, there's only 6 days left. How many days is there? It's the 25th. So, yeah, not too many days left, and we'll be moving on to the month of May shortly. Going to best bets for today. Me, nothing as of this moment. Tim is going with Pittsburgh money line, and as I said, I believe that is MLB. I said Pirates, but knowing Tim, it could be. Actually, no, ECU. It could technically be ECU, but I will assume that it's Pirates. Pirates money line for Tim, and over 5.5 for Nick. Da, 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 da. Yeah, 0 chance the Isles win today. It's over. Earl Sports Bets, yeah, that's why my best bet tonight is Canes minus 3.5. I'm kidding, Terry. I'm kidding. All right, no worries there. And now I have to decide what I'm going to do, and I'm going to Tampa Bay Rays money line parlayed with Milwaukee Brewers. So my two run lines, I'm going to parlay the money lines for those guys together, and I will get the best odds after the show. But Tampa Bay Rays money line and Milwaukee Brewers money line, my best bet for today. That should be plus money somewhere. Best bet coming later, Terry. No problem, Richie. No problem. Leafs are 0-10 in their last 10 closeout games. Just putting that out there. Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I think It's looking like they're going to get the job done, but I'm not ready to say anything because it's the Leafs, and we've seen it before. Leafs in 5. It's possible. It is possible. But that is today's show. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. Appreciate all the support. And we'll be back tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern for another episode. Getting wild and flying high. Free NHL and MLB picks. Best of luck, everybody.